Good morning, everybody. Graduates and families and friends and faculty. At least it's morning right now here. It could be evening from wherever you're watching. Welcome to the graduation ceremony of the 2020 class of the Rochester General Hospital Internal Medicine Residency Program. My name is Dr. Silver, and I'm a program director. Look at that great picture. Well, you look at those guys jumping. If I was in that photo, I'd be jumping too, just as high, but I'm not sure if I wasn't there, so you can't see me jump that high. So I want to give you the agenda for today. First, we'll be having Dr. Brad Patak, Chief of Medicine here, say some words. Then we're going to have an award ceremony. Then we're going to have some words from one of our graduates, Dr. Waqas Tahir, and then I'll be saying some words about our chief residents and the graduates. So with that, Dr. Patak.
Thank you, Dr. Silver. What a letdown, right? We were talking about country clubs and dinners and families, but under the circumstances, I think this is great. At least we could get you all together. And I think you all understand we have to do what we need to do. But at the same time, we want to recognize that you guys are crossing a threshold. Graduating residency is a big deal. For many, it's going on into hospitalist medicine or primary care practice or whatever their career is. For some, it's waiting a year or two or going on to fellowship training, subspecialty. I know this year there are like 5 people who are going to do Hem-Onc. I don't know what the Hem-Onc docs here do, but Hem-Onc seems very popular. But I know there are lots of other interests. This is a class that I have, along with Dr. Silver, really sort of gotten to know because we've been the leadership throughout your 3 years here and have really enjoyed sort of watching you grow from that first-year intern into more mature third years that are ready to take on the internal medicine mantle and go into practice or do whatever else you're doing in the future. So I know there are families out there that can't be here. There probably are local families who couldn't come in either, right? Little kids or husbands or wives or significant others. So to all of them, you should be proud of your graduate. It's an achievement to go through these 3 rigorous years of internal medicine training. And this is the end of that tunnel. You guys are graduating and heading out into the world. So congratulations to all of you and to the family that supported you to get you to this point. So some of you have parents and others who are watching from across the globe. I would say congratulations to them as well. You've mentored and raised some very fine young doctors. So once again, congratulations to all of you on behalf of the entire Department of Medicine. We know you will all do well in your own ways. Don't forget RGH, your alma mater, and keep your connections as you go along. Some of the connections that you build during residency are tighter and deeper than anything else you'll ever develop professionally again. So hang on to those things. They last for a whole career. I'm still in touch with people from way back when. So with that, I think we're going to move on to our formal program. Dr. Gabby Razouk will present the first award. Dr. Razouk.
Good morning, graduates. Good day, families across the world. Today, I'm presenting the Lawrence A. Young Award, which is to be given to one resident at each level of training for outstanding performance as judged by his or her colleagues. The recipient for the R1 this year is going to be Dr. Rgh Imrp. The R2 recipient for this year is going to be Dr. VSP. Do you want me to say the full name? Dr. Pandala. And the R3 recipient is going to be Dr. Devesh Rai. And if I can ask Dr. Sitharaman to step forward for the next award. Thank you and congratulations.
Good morning. So every year, our program recognizes an outgoing graduate for outstanding clinical performance in terms of all core competencies. And it has been my good fortune to have been associated with this resident since medical school clerkship days and have seen this resident blossom into a fine, competent, and caring physician. This particular resident embodies utmost care, compassion, high-quality professional care, and extreme professional skills and performance. It is indeed my immense pleasure to award this award for clinical excellence to Tara Chen. I call upon Dr. Edward Walsh for the next presentation.
Good morning. It's nice to be here this morning, despite the changes in the venue that have been created by the coronavirus pandemic. And it's good to see everyone here together at the same time. It's rare that we do. We usually see you 3 and 4 clustered together in the hallway. And as you probably know, faculty often will then make an immediate left turn because we'll be captured by you for questions for the next 20 minutes, something that we enjoy to do. So this next award is the Scholarship Award, as you can see from the board, and it was created in memory of a former resident here and an RGH internal medicine resident. Alumni, and this award is presented to a resident for their academic contribution and their scholarship in their 3 years while they've been here. And this year's award is not so easy to give out because I think many of the individuals in this class have really shown an extraordinary amount of independent and individual energy and pursuit of questioning what we do as physicians, questioning why we do the things we do, what things work, what things don't work, because much of medicine does not have that basis. And so it's very important to always be questioning what you're doing. And this year's award goes to a person who, and this is something that I did very briefly. Actually, it took me much longer than I would have expected. So I wanted to look at this person's CV, which is not something that you can do that easily in this case. And it took me a couple of hours to go through the many papers that this individual has written. Of the 23 that I looked at, half are first authored papers. And one of them, interestingly, is actually an editorial to a well-recognized journal. I think that's rather unusual. And I think you all know who I'm talking about. And so if we'll have Racine come down to receive her award. I will put my mask on. Come closer.
Go ahead.
The RGH Teaching Award is an award to recognize one member of the full-time faculty at RGH. This person, selected by the residents, would be chosen because of his or her outstanding performance as a teacher and a clinician. This award was started in 1991 by the chief medical residents with the support of the Department of Medicine at RGH. Today, I would be presenting an award to Dr. Rgh, and I would like to say a few words. When I was asked by Michelle to say a few words about Dr. Rgh, my response was, sure. But then I took time to think about the things to say, and I realized this was quite an uphill task. Because I thought about it, Dr. Rgh happens to be a man of many parts, and I wasn't really sure where to focus on. Should I speak of him as a teacher, as a physician, or as a scholar? Dr. Rgh is one of the best teachers I've ever had. His extensive knowledge I find as fascinating as well as his attention to details. His unfeigned interest in teaching you as a resident and in following up on your progress is top-notch. All this coupled with his kindness and genuine care for your well-being. As a physician, Dr. Rgh always goes above and beyond to ensure his patients not only get the best of him, but get the best of the world-class care we offer at RGH. This he achieves with an unassuming demeanor while maintaining a friendly professional relationship with all the members of staff. From Dr. Rgh, I learned not only medicine, I also learned the importance as well as the skills of maintaining good interpersonal relationship with other members of the healthcare team. As an example, I learned a box of Rgh donuts could work a lot of magic while you're working on the floors. I always said, if I ever happen to be a patient admitted to RGH internal medicine, I would request Dr. Rgh as my personal physician. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Basil Rgh. And to present the award to the co-winner of this year's RGH Teaching Award, I'll call on Dr. SHEIKH.
Thank you, Tende. So we're lucky this year to actually have a tie between multiple faculty attendings at RGH for the RGH Teaching Award. So Dr. Verghese was one of them. I'll present another one, and guess what? Tara will present a third one. So this award, officially known as RGH Teaching Award, is an award to recognize one full-time faculty at RGH. This person, selected by the residents, would be chosen because of their outstanding performance as both a teacher and a clinician. It was started in 1991, and it is still going. So before revealing who earned this award on my part, let me talk a little bit about why the residents chose this person for this award. This person has taught many generations of residents on many levels too. I mean, from just the basics of medicine to subspecialty science and training, and even taught them the administrative and the leadership skills. This person is fairly loved by all residents, I'm sure. And when they are on service, you know you're gonna get your share of training in teaching. I remember one time when I was an intern, I didn't know much back then. I mean, I still don't know much now, but you know. I was finding difficulty choosing what the best medicine should I give for hyperkalemia for a patient, so intern year. And you know, this person was just passing by. I was talking to my colleague about it. And I was lucky enough that he was just passing by. And you know how busy attendings are. Still, this attending pulled up a chair, sat down, and explained very thoroughly for like half an hour what agent should we choose for hyperkalemia and why. He made sure that we understood why that happened, and he left with a smile after that. One last thing. Fast forward 2 years. I'm a third-year resident now, and I have a very sick patient on the floor with a peritoneal dialysis that's malfunctioning, and they need dialysis right now. So I called the MICU attending, I called nephrology, and you know, they pick the phone up, they hear the story from me, immediately comes down to the room and personally arranges for a stat HD catheter to be placed so the patient's life can be saved, basically. And the patient does well after that. For this much dedication and being a role model for all of us, he was chosen by us for this award. In case you didn't know who it is by now, it's our program director that takes notes every single noon conference. I call our one and only Dr. Steven Silver. Tara, please come. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I have the honor to award this RGH Teaching Award as chosen by the residents to the third recipient of this award. Now, this recipient is one of our favorite ICU attendings. As interns, I'm sure we all remember gathering around his little computer while he quizzed us on all the lines, tubes, devices, and sometimes clothing items that we can see and identify in these x-rays. As senior residents, I'm sure we've all experienced and learned the importance of collecting that sputum sample from the tracheal aspirate in the morning. And if this was not done, sometimes we were demoted to our 2.5. And then we were shown the art of how to collect the sputum sample ourselves. In this COVID pandemic, he led us with great vigor and gave us a sense of calm in the tumultuous ICU times. This attending outside of work does so much for his community, and those of us who've had the pleasure of seeing him outside of the ICU in the community, we know he's a really good badminton and basketball player. So it is my honor to present the ICU Teaching, or RGH Teaching, ICU Teaching Award to our ICU attending, Dr. Chow. And next, I'd like to bring up Jyoti.
Good morning, everyone, to this wonderful day. It is my absolute honor and a privilege in presenting this award, and I'm so excited to tell you about it. It is a special for this year from our special batch. These are not normal times, and this award is a special recognition for a special group of people who have weathered the storm and have tried to restore some normalcy into our lives as residents at RGH. This is the outstanding faculty at Pulmonary Critical Care in our hospital, which is made up of a fearless, dedicated, and strong, yet compassionate group of individuals. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of my class and my program. Thank you for taking out time in chaos and strain to always teach us, guide us, and support us. And this, I think, has pretty easily panned out into this unforeseeable pandemic that we were all faced with, where you still took out time to show us what composure is and still teach us, guide us, and protect us more than ever in this COVID-19. Thank you for surely leading us by example and always making sure that we never had too much on our plate. Thank you for being the certain source of light in this dark tunnel of uncertainties. And now I cannot help but reminisce the last 3 years and how you have all shaped our minds. From Dr. Sandhi for being an enterprising force in big endeavors, yet carrying it out with smiles. For Dr. Chow, who Tara did allude to, who's always embodied that less is more for the patient. For Dr. Shepherd, who's always encouraged us to question the norms and bring the evidence behind it. For Dr. Malik, for his confidence, intuition, and skills. For Dr. Abaji, who taught us to appreciate the patient's physiology as well as their psychologies. For Dr. Garel, to keep a keen eye for details even amid chaos. For Dr. Lerner, to make us believe that ICU is not a man's world only. For Dr. Bhaskar, to show us that precision is power. For Dr. Lee, for his dedication and compassion beyond the years. And last but not the least, our new guns, Dr. Colgan and Dr. Genesi. And now, on behalf of the whole program and the graduating class of 2020, I want to thank you and present this award to the ICU faculty. And now for a few words on behalf of our class. We have our immensely talented class representative, who I think could not be a better choice to eloquently express our thoughts collectively. Come on, Dr. Tahir.
Thank you, Jyoti. And thank you, Dr. Silver, for trusting me today on the mic without wetting my speech. I can say anything I want and nobody can stop me. Well, not entirely true. We still have 2 more weeks as residents, so I'll behave. And good morning, everyone. I'm one of the graduating residents today, and I represent this bunch of extremely talented people. I have so much to say on behalf of my class, but due to the time constraints, I will restrain my words. But words will never be enough to express what happened here. 1,110 days, a few nights, but for simplicity, 1,110 days of learning medicine, applying knowledge, doing procedures, running codes, breaking bad news, holding hands of dying patients, pretending to be awake during conferences and lectures, complaining about the food all the time, praying that the patients don't crash during your ICU shift, asking your intern in the morning if they replace their potassium, fighting over the utility of procalcitonin, all the while keeping a check on your fellow residents to assess if they need a G1 admission. That's our psychiatry unit, by the way. But looks like we made it. All of us, thankfully. Not that I ever doubted it. After all, we are part of this great residency program. But what makes a residency program great? Is it simply the ability to recruit creme de la creme medical graduates from around the world? Or is it then putting them through rigorous training under great masters of medicine? Or is it also making sure that they get a home-like environment, recognizing that they are far from their families for this stressful stretch of 3 years, listening to them, encouraging them, asking them every now and then if they're getting enough sleep, maybe organizing a yoga or a mindfulness session for the whole class, or a retreat in the woods, maybe a self-defense class, or simply putting in a well-timed kind word. All these things that make a program great stem from a culture of excellence that starts from the top. The dedication to bringing out the best in their residents has made the program what it is today. We are the first batch to graduate amidst a pandemic. This time last year, we were all looking forward to group pictures of our class in front of a fancy fountain, not a mountain, at a country club. Boy, oh boy, things turned around. The world as we knew it changed in a matter of days. But what makes me proud is the way my colleagues adapted and overcame these unprecedented challenges with resilience, patience, and mutual support. The world was burning down, but our program was there for us, giving us the sense of security that was much needed to stand on the front line in this battle. Times were tough, but we fought hard and are still fighting. But this gives me hope that we will survive. As we pass out, we will be saying goodbye to not one, but two major institutions. The first is this hospital itself. We are the last residents to have all their training done in the old building before the mega critical care center opens up. Can't say I don't have a fear of missing out on that opportunity, but graduating is more important right now, I guess. The second is a man who is an institution in his own, Dr. Paul Bernstein, with whom we were the last batch to train for the full 3 years. The program will never be the same without him. But this residency program is fortunate and proud to be studded with pillars of medicine. We are grateful to each one of you. Dr. Silver, we will remember if that hyponatremia is a sodium or a water problem. Dr. Sitaraman, we will remember to check the stool occult blood or B12 on that anemia patient. Dr. Tarik, we will remember that oral iron therapy works. Dr. Jadhav and Dr. Zook, we will remember to focus on POCUS whenever it's available. Dr. Chow, we will remember to count the lines on the chest x-ray. Dr. Sandhi, we will remember to keep the ultrasound machine clean. Dr. Walsh, we will remember to take cultures with a grain of salt. Dr. Shepard, we will remember the outcomes of the Pythor trial and brush up on our NEJM knowledge whenever possible. Dr. Henderson, we will remember to keep fibromyalgia and the differentials. And Dr. Al-Qasim, we will remember that every one of us is a superstar. The speech will be incomplete without paying gratitude to the backbone of our program, Michelle and Manju. Thank you for always welcoming us in your office and your hearts. I'm a little emotional right now. We can't thank you enough, RGH Internal Medicine Residency Program, for what you've done for us. We came here thinking this would be an educational experience for us only, but it turned out to be much more than that. You taught us discipline, punctuality, patience, organization, and compassion. You really did your part in what's needed in times like these, not just better doctors, but also better professionals and better humans. To my fellow residents, thank you for being my friends and family. Life will take us on separate paths now. But remember us like this. We graduate today and it's time to celebrate. But don't rush. Take a deep breath. Feel this moment and know that we are here for each other always. Thank you.
Those are some beautiful words. Really beautiful words. Thank you, Akas. Before I introduce the graduates, I want to thank some special people, and these thank yous are really, they're important, very important. I want to recognize Dr. Prad Patak, the Chief of Medicine at RGH. His partnership in support of me and support of the program throughout the years has been essential to our program, and he makes our program his top priority. Thank you, Brad. I want to thank my team of associate program directors, Dr. Nagesh Jadhav, Dr. Mysore Sitharaman, Dr. Gabi Razuk, and Dr. Edward Walsh for their dedication to the program. They are great physicians and teachers, and I'm honored every day to work with them. I want to thank Michelle Simmons, our residency program coordinator. She's my right-hand woman. She does everything for the program. She dreams about the program at night. I get texts and questions all the time. So she really is the center of the program. I want to recognize, as has been done, Manjula Kuturu. The program could not function without you. I want to give you a special thanks for your dedication and your smile and for keeping me honest and getting on me to do all the things I have to do. And thank Sabrina Maldonado, or the newest member of the program, for her help in making today a success. And I want to give a special shout out to Mr. Jeff Blackman, guy behind the scenes, guy taking the shots here, for the stills, the posters, everything he does behind the scenes. Thank you, Jeff, and for everybody here that helped to make this presentation possible. And one more group to recognize. Will the chief residents that served us under the last year please step up to the front? Great. We have Pratik Mathur, who could not be here today. Come right up there. Right up to that spot. I have Kaylee Punch. And Kaylee will be going on to be a primary care physician at Unity Internal Medicine. We have Cheyenne Thanakutu, who is going on to a hematology and oncology hospitalist position at Strong Memorial Hospital. And Anika Zafar, who is going to be a hospitalist at El Camino Hospital, and unfortunately, Anika could not be here either. So those are our four chief residents. And, when we started out this year, it was, we thought that the academic half day was our biggest challenge. And that seems like it's way far in the past, but these guys helped to make that a success. And then there was 4 chief residents instead of 5. And then there was emergency coverage of the clinic. Then there were plans for this residency expansion. It was a whole new set of schedules. And then COVID. And that was like another residency in and of itself. So, and 2 babies, as Kaylee points out. And, I think you guys are what they call counterpunchers. And in boxing, a counterpuncher is somebody who takes advantage of a punch to punch back. And that's exactly what you guys did all year. I want to thank you personally on behalf of the program for your service. And, thanks is really all you get as a chief, but there's also that honor your whole life of being a chief resident. So thank you guys very much. Now, I want to say just a word before we talk about the graduates, as Dr. Patek has said, to the families and friends of the graduates, to welcome you all from all over the world watching. And we wish you could be here to personally congratulate you. And this is your day as well, as much as it is for the graduates. You raised these great young people and supported them, and you must be just feeling so proud today. So, congratulations to you. And now finally to the graduates. I know that you guys know that you're my favorite class, but just keep it quiet. Nobody, just us, will be knowing about that. I want to just review, as I do every year, and I know just to think about what you've done to get to this point, about the intense competition to get into medical school. We'll get there, Abu. We'll get there. 4 years of hard work, doing extra years of work after medical school, studying for the boards day and night, nailing the boards, competing for a residency spot with thousands of applicants, the endless interviews in those dark suits, and finally the match. And you made your first choice, RGH, right? You know, starting out in a whole new system, Care Connect, the snow in the ICU, the nights, the floors, Dr. Sita Raman, 7 in the morning, taking 2 steps at a time, and Dr. Shepard, again, asking for that evidence, the ITEs and the abstracts, reports, M&Ms, senior talks, professors' rounds, and then COVID came, and the MICU again, PPE, the donning and the doffing, the decontaminating and the emails about the emails, and social distancing, and not social distancing. So you've been through a lot, and so that brings us to today. You're now independent physicians, and clinically and academically you have done it. And RGH and all of us are so honored to have helped you. And I think just remember what you've worked so hard for, which is a privilege, the privilege to care for patients. And now you're part of an elite group, the RGH Internal Medicine Residency Program graduates and alumni, and you have that instant connection with all previous graduates and future graduates, and kind of take advantage of this and keep in touch with them and remember the program, and we will remember you. It really doesn't matter whether it's 2 weeks or 5 years. Just give a text, just give a call. We're there. And with that, now I'll be presenting the graduates. And the first graduate I want to talk about is Mohammad Abu Sheikha, graduate of the University of Jordan, Faculty of Medicine. Abu, when we were out on that apple farm, we went to that trip, the residency, went out to the apple farm, and you were telling me about your large family of many brothers, many sisters, and that you were right in the middle, but you were the only one that has gone into medicine, the only one that has ventured to the U.S., and now your plans are coming to fruition. And I really want to congratulate for you. And Dr. Chow said this about Abu. He said, I worked with Abu in the MICU and the resident team, and he's very gentle all the time. He takes responsibility of being a resident very seriously. And Abu does, exhibit that professionalism and calmness regardless of the situation, has a great academic record as well. And personally, I want to say something about Abu because he always gives me a smile of encouragement. He tells me I'm doing a great job, and he did that even after he got his fellowship, which I thought was especially impressive. And let me tell you, I'll take it every day. Abu will be continuing at RGH, and we're so happy to have him as a fellow in cardiology here. Our next resident is Aksa Amin, and she is a graduate of St. George's Medical School. Now, Dr. Bavsar, who we miss, talks about Aksa as an intern. She said her knowledge base is beyond her peers. She's calm during chaos. She'll be at the top of her class. And Dr. Sita Raman says, and I like this, and you could see him saying this, from a practical standpoint, Aksa does not allow much role for the attending. She is extremely diligent and goes the extra mile in making certain that mistakes will not occur. And that is true, and we're really so lucky that you'll be remaining here as a hospitalist at Rochester General. Dr. Kyrillos Barsom, graduate of Ain Shams University Faculty of Medicine in Egypt. Lori Lerner says, Carolus is ready for independent practice or fellowship at a high acuity level. He's got a great fund of knowledge. He's one of my favorite residents. He has excellent clinical acumen, and he knows every cardiovascular trial. That's true. And Dr. Rgh says he likes to consider the whole picture when taking care of the patient. Some of the patient's families just loved him, and one family member called him Kiro, my hero. And it's true. And, Kiro's a great guy who I've worked with on the service, and I really appreciate him for all his honesty and dedication. And he'll be a chief resident at Unity Hospital, and I know he'll be an outstanding teacher there. Dr. Nishid Binwali, graduate of Buriti Vidbeth Medical College. Nishid, let me just get one thing straight. When we went out to Mended Ponds and you guys were on the canoe, Chu and you, and then the canoe tipped over, that was Chu's fault, right? Okay, just getting that straight. I tell you, it was my first year as program director and one of my first interview days, and I interviewed Nishid. And about 2 minutes into the interview, I knew I was dealing with kind of a unique guy, because he described doing a rotation in cardiology and then taking a run in between the cath cases. And I said, wow, is this guy a bit crazy? And it turned out, yes, that is, but in the best possible way. And again, Dr. Bernstein, who we do miss, said Nishid is the kind of resident that all programs need. He is a Renaissance resident. He has depth and the ability to relate to patients because of his very broad accomplishments, and more importantly, he is humble about what he has done. And Dr. Shepard said, I think Dr. Binwali is an excellent resident, top of his class, and I appreciate that Nishid is always willing to help with such enthusiasm and optimism. He just goes beyond what's required. Nishid is going to go on to work as a hospitalist. The plans are as a hospitalist in Auckland, New Zealand, so far in his new life there, and we wish him the best. Dr. Tara Chen. Tara is a graduate of SEBA, University School of Medicine. I got an email from Dr. Henderson about Tara, and it said, hello, I want to bring something to your attention about Tara. I learned that she has a log with the names and phone numbers of her patients' home health nurses, and contacts them as needed. Tara's thoroughness, and this is unprecedented in my experience in this program, and a reflection of her commitment to care, and clearly that is something, and Tara has been recognized for that. She did a beautiful senior talk on antibiotics and COPD that was judged the best in her class, and she presented that at Grand Rounds, and she's really excelled in the COVID crisis and helping the infectious disease team. Tara, we're so lucky to have you working in the TWIG next year and working with our residents, and thank you so much. Dr. Fatiha Furqan. Fatiha graduated from King Edward Medical School in Pakistan. Fatiha did an OA elective at MD Anderson. And here's a great comment from a Dr. Strati that worked with her. Dr. Furqan is the most exceptional resident I've ever worked with. I have been amazed by her skills and hard work. Her team and patients loved her. And Dr. Sashi Sigdal, who we all know, says Dr. Furqan is one of the best residents I have worked with. I like this quote, she is a team leader and honest at heart, and we pleasantly agree to disagree. Fatiha was a debater. I remember you told me that. She did disagree and discuss and come to a moderation. This is her best part of learning and harbinger of a great mentor. And I'm so glad to have you working with us as chief resident next year. Dr. Manasi Gadwale graduated from BJ Medical College in India. And Dr. Taramasco says of Manasi is wonderful to work with. She's humble, has great medical knowledge, is efficient, has a wonderful interaction with staff. And Manasi is also great with patients and families, especially in difficult situations. She has excellent instinct, and she's proactive, and she writes amazing notes. She's going to make an excellent chief resident, and I know that's true. You know, Manasi is also involved in several high-powered HEMONC projects, and she talks about that with a lot of excitement, and we're so really happy to have you, Manasi, to be chief next year. Dr. John Hanna, graduate of Aswad University Faculty of Medicine in Egypt. So, you know, I remember when John gave his senior talk on tick-borne disease, and it featured some beautiful color scenes in New York, places I love, and just how informative the talk was, how smooth it was. You hardly knew you were at a lecture. John has a love of infectious diseases, but an equal love of informatics and social media. And when the COVID crisis hit, he applied his efforts to help RGH and was a key member of the infectious diseases team. And he was able to speak about that so cogently at Grand Rounds just a couple of weeks ago. And John is also, in his own right, a great clinician, and he has been throughout the residency. And John will go on to ID at Southwestern Medical School in Dallas, Texas. And you know, John, they think they have big ideas down in Texas, but they haven't met you yet. Okay? So, congratulations. Dr. Hamza Hassan. What's that? Okay. Is a graduate of Rawalpindi Medical College in Pakistan. I like that tie. It's beautiful. You know, I remember sitting with Hamza on the bus going back from Mendon Ponds after our intern outing there. And, you know, I am sure as a new intern, he was really overjoyed that I was sitting next to him. And you just couldn't wait until I sat down next to him. I know that's not what residents want. But he told me about his family, and he told me about his ambitions, and you could see the wheels turning, and that Hamza has that combination of a fertile mind, but also an incredible dedication to his academic goals, but also no less to his patients, no less. He's dogged, and Dr. Bafsar says of him, Hamza's like having a second attending. He knows his patients inside out, and it's the same thing with academics. Hamza, his goal was HEMONC, his passion was amyloid, and he gave a great Grand Rounds presentation in that and demonstrated really his mastery of that subject. And now he's going on to a HEMONC program at BU, Boston University, that is a center for that. And I know Hatem was a little worried that there's no Costco there, and he was worried about that, and he's concerned you might have to transfer out. But Hamza, I know you're going to succeed, and it's been wonderful, you know, to work with you. Dr. Anita Khalid, graduate of Nishtar Medical College in Pakistan. An intern said about her, Nita is kind and concerned about her well-being. I really enjoyed the time we worked together. Even though it was hectic and difficult, every time I entered the patient's room with her, I learned something new just from observing how she works. And again, Dr. Paul Bernstein says, yep, Nita is ready. I had the pleasure of working with her as an intern, and now again as an R3, and she has had fantastic growth. She demonstrates warmth and kindness and curiosity and diligence. And Anita, you're going to be staying on with us, working in the observation unit at RGH, and we're really happy to have you with us. Dr. Jyoti Lanka is graduate of Maharaj KC Medical College in India. You know, Dr. Lanka likes intensive care, and she's an intensely good physician. She's a great speaker, and she's done so much academically, and her CV kind of reflects a lot of different interests in a lot of different areas. She's got a lot of tenacity and grit. She did what it took with the help of the chief residents to get to that conference in Thailand. And she really, of course, thrived in the intensive care unit. And Dr. Damanpal says, just clearly, she is one of the best among her class. And Jyoti will be attending a pulmonary critical care fellowship at the University of Arizona School of Medicine. And congratulations. Just a couple of words about Buriti Malik. Buriti could not be here today, but I know she's watching, and I know Pratik is watching as well. Buriti has been an excellent resident. An intern says of her, she was always there to help me and be a kind teacher. She knows so much. And Dr. Sigdal again says, Buriti is a great team leader. She's consistently working hard to keep the team in the loop. She takes care of patients in a gentle way with high standards of care, and she asks questions in doubt, which is always so great. And Buriti will be going right into practice as a primary care physician in Louisville, and we wish her well. Dr. Ahmed Hatam Mohammad. All right. Hatam graduated from Ain Shams as well in Egypt. And simply, Hatam is a great clinician. He had all that experience before coming here, and it showed. He's confident and decisive. And I remember Dr. Jadhav commenting, having Hatam here is just like having another attending on the service. That's how great he is in that respect. But he's more than just that. He volunteered to contribute to ethics grand rounds. I'm not sure you guys remember, with a great talk on the effect of religion on decisions regarding hospice care. And one of our hematologists writes, Hatam is a very compassionate individual. He brought flowers for a patient because he was asking about her family history, which brought back bad memories. That was nice of him, and I think that was special. And one thing I appreciate about Hatam is that he has just no problem expressing his opinion, just out there in front with, concisely and directly if he disagrees with you. Just in our conferences, just great questions and curiosity. And Hatam will be going down also to Texas to do a cardiology fellowship at the University of Texas at Galveston. And the best of luck, Hatam, really. Dr. Yetunde Ogunsesan is a graduate of the University of Oloran College of Health Science in Nigeria. That's Yetunde. Yetunde is a unique person who's a great clinician and dedicated to her patients. And Dr. Shepard says, Dr. Ogunsesan is quite knowledgeable. She reads from both the literature and textbooks. She applied this well during our discussions. She is at the top of her class in terms of medical knowledge. And Dr. Sham, how Dr. Sham is in his very concise way says, he lists it off. Number one, outstanding medical knowledge base. Number 2, great medical thinking in terms of differential diagnosis and approach. And number 3, enthusiastic learner. And Yetunde will be going to a hematology-oncology hospitalist position in Arkansas University Medical Sciences. And Yetunde, we wish you all the best. Dr. Devesh Rai. Devesh is a graduate of MKM Medical College in India, and Anika says, quote, a force of nature. That's what she says about Devesh. You know, Devesh is always working on a new project or completing one. He's always working on his projects, but clinically he is amazing. And an intern writes, and this is, Devesh lights up the mood in the room. He knows Care Connect like nobody else. And we're lucky to have him as Chief R next year. And, you know, Devesh, I think Devesh really cares. He cares about our program. He cares about the residents, and he cares about residents that are struggling. He has ideas, and he moves on them, and we're really lucky to have him as Chief next year. Dr. Mohammad Waqas Tahir, graduate of CMH Lahore Medical College in Pakistan. You know, it was a proud moment, Waqas, when as an intern, you spoke at Grand Rounds. You spoke about, you know, Dr. Bernstein's, Grand Rounds about what it means to be a physician. And your words today were just equally very, very nice, and just beautiful. And Dr. Vaipava, one of our academic cardiologists who you've worked with, says, I've worked with Waqas in the office for over 2 years now and been his mentor on research projects and abstracts. And Waqas is extremely motivated, comes up with great research ideas, has been very prolific, has had numerous abstracts at national meetings. I've lost count. He's also a fine clinician. And Kamar Ahmed, a former chief and attending here, said, Waqas is a star resident with all the amazing qualities like leadership, teaching, knowledge, and patient care. And we're really lucky to have Waqas back with us next year to help to teach our residents and be with us as a hospitalist. And best of luck, Waqas. Dr. Racine Tarik, a graduate of Nishtar Medical College. Now, so you've heard a little bit about Racine's research work, but let's talk a little bit about her ability as a clinician. Dr. Jadhav said that Racine is highly efficient and extremely reliable, and I remember him telling me personally, he said, when I rounded with Racine, he said, not a single instance when we discussed something and it was not done. So he just thought that was remarkable. And one of our current interns says about Racine, you have had a very positive impact on my life from the day I met you on my interview day. You are an inspiration for many and my role model. When I got to know you in person, I was astonished by your humility and hard work. We are glad to have you as our chief, and that is so nice, and she will make a great chief resident. Dr. Chu Tong. All right, so Chu, yes, according to, I want to make sure, Chu, according to Nishit, it was your fault that the canoe tipped. I mean, is that, I just want to confirm. Okay, well, we'll talk about that next year. The controversy will continue. So I just want to comment. I remember when Chu was giving his talk on mitral disease, and Dr. Stearns was sitting next to me, and he leaned over and he said, "Who is this? He can sure give a talk." And Dr. David Fries, a cardiology attending at RGH, says about Chu, it's clear that Dr. Tong has a passion for cardiovascular disease. It is also clear that he possesses the requisite knowledge and skill set that and would someday make an excellent cardiovascular clinician should he choose to pursue a career in this field. And indeed, he has chosen this, and Chu will be staying out at RGH as a cardiology fellow, and it'll be so great to work with you, Chu. Okay, and finally, Dr. Ebebek Waktola, who's a graduate of Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. Abby is not here today, but I want to say some words about her. Annie Munoz, who's a second-year resident, talks about Abby, and she says, Abby is by far one of the smartest people I have ever had the pleasure to work with. She is one of the residents that I admire most for her dedication to patients and her patience when teaching me. And Dr. Jadov, our associate program director, said, Abby's performance was excellent overall. She does not appear to be in a rush, which is a great quality to have. And we had an academic debate about the use of phenobarbital and alcohol withdrawal, and she was able to provide me references on the spot. I bet she won that debate. She's a great role model, and Abby is respected in our program for her excellence as a clinician and her high intelligence, proven by her choice to go into nephrology. And she will be attending a nephrology fellowship in Vanderbilt in July. So with that, you guys give yourselves a hand. And again, I want to tell you on behalf of the program how wonderful it is to have worked with all you guys, and as just seen you guys grow, and we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you all. We're going to show some slides of with you guys in it, and you just enjoy that. And again, congratulations to everybody. How do you? Oh, okay.
So I just want to say thanks to you guys for pushing to make this an in-person event. We were headed to a different place with Zoom and this and that. I think this was much more personal, even though we couldn't have your families here. So thanks for pushing us to do this wonderful event. Congratulations to all of you again. And I think we'll call it a day. Thank you.